Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are going to take a look at the basics of using the Queries module in Designer applications. With the Queries module, you can create database queries to retrieve data from any web application or data map under your account. This means that you can easily decouple the data from your workbook to reduce its size and increase calculation performance, and get data from records saved under your application or other applications. The Queries module features a simple interface where you can select the data fields and conditions to pull the data and requires no knowledge in coding whatsoever. Let's see the basics of the Queries module on an example. Here we have an order entry application where users can enter the details for their orders and generate a quote. This application already has a number of quotes saved under it. Let's create a query to get a better understanding of the order totals. You can find the Queries module under the Names menu on the Designer interface or under the same section from the Dial menu. On the Generate Query page, you can see active queries and manage them. To create a query, press the Add Query button. Here, you can select from web applications with a defined database and have records saved under it, or data maps that you've imported into the Spatial Web platform. Once you make a selection, you will be taken to the Generate Query page. Here, you can start building your query. The name field is a friendly name, which will only be displayed on the queries page and will not be visible to the end users. This field is only used for distinguishing between active queries for a particular application. The Entities panel on the left contains the tables and columns for the selected web application or data map. You can expand the tables by clicking their names to see the columns underneath. This order entry application consists of two tables, a primary table and a secondary one-to-many table. For our example, let's say that we want to see the order totals by customer name. For this, we're going to want to select Order Total and Customer. You can select any number of columns and then click the Add Columns button to move them into the selection area to the right. The Columns section displays the active columns. You can replace an active column by clicking its name under the Expressions column and change its label from the Title section. Active fields under the columns table can be sorted using the arrows icon to their left. This can make it easier to follow the columns when dealing with several fields at the same time. Selecting a sort direction will sort the outcome data in that order. To apply an expression to a column, click the F symbol next to it and select from Available Expressions. Note that the options listed for aggregation depends on the data type of that column. For example, numeric fields will allow selecting sum, whereas text fields will only allow selecting from count or distinct count. To remove a column, click the X icon next to it. You can add any number of conditions to filter the data to be retrieved as a result of the query. Press the Add New Condition button under Entities or Conditions sections and select a column to add a new condition based on that field. Name ranges used in conditions will be calculated when runtime calculations are triggered, and the results will be used in the query. We can configure this condition by clicking the underlined items. The first field is our name range. The second one is going to be our logic operator. Since this is a numeric field, we can choose from options like equal to, between, less than, or greater than. Let's say we want to see order totals that are greater than $10,000, and we can enter that value in the next field. Let's also add a second condition and break down the results by the state of the consumer. Since this is a text field, we're getting different options. Let's try showing only the results from Massachusetts. Currently, our condition is pointing as AND. This means that both conditions must be true for the results to be returned. To remove a condition, click the icon next to it and select Delete. Select Top X Rows property can be set to a value to display only a certain number of top values from the query results. You can omit repeating values in the query results by enabling the Select Distinct Values option. Once you're done, you can click the Execute button to run your query for testing. The outcome will be displayed on the results section below. Here we are seeing multiple records for the Green Tea restaurant. And this is because the system is showing us the historical records as well. To show only the active records, we must add a new condition. For this, we're going to use the isActive flag. You can show or hide the SQL code being used in the active query by pressing the Show Hide SQL button on the top of the page. The SQL query can be exported in XML format by pressing the Save to File button. The Clear Query option will reset all fields. You can download the outcome of your query in Excel or CSV format by using the corresponding buttons. You can also assign this query to a name range by selecting that name range from Bound to Name Range dropdown. Note that this field will only show name ranges that match the dimensions of the query results. For example, a single cell outcome can be bound to a single name range, whereas a list will require a table name range. Press the Add New Query button to save your query.